Welcome back to This Week in Golf on Radio all across Canada. I'm your host, Chris McKee. Appreciate you tuning in. Well, people watch sports for many different reasons. The more recent motivation to watch is obviously gambling, with an opportunity to make a few bucks while betting on the outcome of games, which more often than not doesn't work out in our favor. Some people watch sports out of boredom, while many watch their favorite athletes seeking an escape from reality and the doldrums of our everyday lives. Life in Canada these days is especially hard for many of us, myself included. We're being taxed through the roof. Our politicians are purposely dividing us on a daily basis. Rent, groceries, and the cost of gas has skyrocketed over the past few years. And so sports can often be an escape for an hour or two from all the doom and gloom of the real world that surrounds us. Certain teams and players in sports can occasionally provide us a glimmer of hope in life as well. The miracle on ice back at the 1980 Lake Placid Olympics, where Team USA beat the Russians in the most improbable of wins, was a lesson in how the unity, along with the will and spirit of a handful of men, can overcome any odds and persevere. Watching Liverpool come back from 3-0 down at the half against AC Milan in the 2005 Champions League final was inspiring for me, because it was a lesson in life that no matter how much the odds are stacked against you, winning is still possible. If you just take things moment by moment, use a little patience as well. Tiger Woods' win at the Masters in 2019 was another lesson in overcoming the odds. Seeing a once great champion find his old self on one magical Sunday left many sports fans in tears, because it allowed a glimmer of hope to them that they too can still achieve great things in life. We don't have to be 22 years old to have success. That success can continue even later in life, just like it did for Tiger on that magical Sunday. And then this past Sunday in Australia was another one of those moments where we got to witness not only one of sports' greatest comeback stories ever, but one of life's greatest comeback stories. Anthony Kim was once one of golf's most promising young superstars. Back in 2012, Anthony Kim was one of the most promising young players in golf, with 3 PGA Tour wins, a few top tens in majors, a Ryder Cup appearance in 2008 on his resume, while still being only in his mid-20s. But then he picked up an injury and underwent surgery for an Achilles tendon tear. And in spite of receiving a medical exemption to return to the PGA Tour back in 2013, once his Achilles healed, Kim didn't return and seemingly disappeared off the face of the earth. Kim once said that even though he appeared happy as he won 3 PGA tournaments, he was secretly struggling with addiction and mental illness. He said, "Every day I chose drugs and alcohol to numb the pain I felt, no matter what happened in my professional life. And I got so good at hiding it that I lost who I was." So for 12 years, very few people even knew where Kim was or what he was doing. Then in 2024, Greg Norman, who was in charge of LIV Golf at the time, offered him an opportunity to return to pro golf. Kim was granted almost a special exemption as one of the few players not a part of a team on LIV Golf, but instead playing as a wild card. And I tweeted about this over the weekend. I love the initial signing of Kim to LIV back in 2024, because it created this big media splash, generated headlines across the world. But during the 2024 and 2025 seasons on LIV, Kim's play on the course just wasn't very good. In 2024, Kim finished dead last in the point standing of any player who was a regular, with a 36th place as his best finish of the year. In 2025, Kim wasn't much better. In fact, he was probably a little worse, with only a T44 as his best finish of the year. And then LIV seemed done with the Anthony Kim experiment, and I kind of agreed with it. Loved the signing of it, but it seemed to have run its course. It was kind of getting a little embarrassing. It was an opportunity for the LIV naysayers to point and go, "Look at these guys you have on there. You got Anthony Kim. This guy can't even finish better than T44 out of a field of about 56 players each week." And then Kim was relegated from the league and seemingly out of professional golf once again. Where would he go from here? Well, back in January, Anthony Kim showed up to the LIV qualifying event and played some outstanding golf, and he earned one of 3 qualifying spots back to play on LIV in 2026. This is one of the things LIV had to do to appease the official world golf ranking system, to have a qualifying event like they do with, the Korn Ferry Tour and, the Q School. These guys are allowed to earn their way on tour, and so LIV did something similar, and then Kim showed up and was outstanding. I was surprised. I watched quite a bit of that qualifier because of the Canadian Richard T. Lee was the leader. And he got on Live Golf, and Kim was just one of three guys. He was behind Richard Teeley, but you could see, man, he's like, wow, this guy's playing some pretty good golf. And then he was set to play as a wild card again this year until this past week when it was announced that Dustin Johnson's Four Aces squad had offered him a spot on their team for the upcoming season.
I'm just one day in, but obviously I wouldn't have accepted to be on the team if I didn't like all three of the guys. I've gotten to play with Thomas now quite a bit, and just being around guys that I want to hang out with off the golf course is the reason I chose to be on a team, because obviously I had an option to stay a wild card. But honored to be a part of the team, and I think as I get better, the team will have more chances to win.
Then with LIV Golf headed to Adelaide, Australia this past week, it appeared Kim wasn't even going to make the trip. He posted on his X account that he and his wife didn't realize they needed visas to go to Australia, didn't do the paperwork, and so he posted that he wasn't going to go and he was going to sit the week out, which was kind of disappointing, especially after the splash that he was going to sign with Four Aces. And then obviously it appears someone pulled a few strings for him and got him a visa last minute, and he was able to get down to Adelaide. And then when he showed up in Adelaide, Kim was happy to discuss his past versus who the person he is now.
You were right. It was a roller coaster. But I think what I'm doing better is using my experience and my age to my advantage on the golf course. I'm more patient out there. Do I want to break 12 clubs some rounds? Absolutely. But I'm focusing on the next shot. And people told me in my early 20s that that's what I should be doing. And I don't know if it was arrogance or confidence that I didn't want to listen. But I'm playing smarter. I'm staying more patient. So I really want nothing to do with that 20-something-year-old kid. I want to be right where I am. I'm very blessed to have an amazing family and be alive. So this is awesome.
Then, in a bit of a surprise in the opening round, Kim and his captain, Dustin Johnson, each carded 500 par 67s that had them sharing third place after round one. It was pretty wild. And then after round one, Bryson DeChambeau was asked what he thought of seeing Anthony Kim up at the top of the leaderboard near him.
I think that's the case with any tournament. AK was just up here and, he's 40 years old now. And it was just really cool, actually, just not as a digression or whatnot, but it was really cool to see him, somebody that's had a lot of difficulties, change his life around and come back out here and having the success that he has. It's really cool to hear somebody like that say that even when he's been through so much trouble, he's 8 years older than me, to still say, look, it's about patience and whatnot, and it doesn't matter where you are. So yeah, it's going to be all about patience for the next few days, but next 3 days. And I think with any single golf course, you have to have patience, but that is the key, in my opinion, for any type of golf you play, especially at the elite level, because you're going to get some weird stuff happening to you.
Even Anthony Kim himself was a little surprised to see where he was at the early stage of LIV Adelaide.
If you asked me 3 years ago, I would have told you were on drugs.
However, Kim didn't fade this week, unlike every other event over the past 2 years, because heading into Sunday, he was right in the mix. Heading into the final round, two of golf's biggest names were 5 shots clear of the field, and it appeared they were going to go toe-to-toe in the final round of LIV Golf's largest regular season event. Like, LIV Adelaide is the marquee event for LIV, 115,000 people there. It was wild. It was just great visuals. But the stage was set for a Bryson DeChambeau versus Jon Rahm showdown for the individual title in front of a packed house at the Grange. It's a beautiful club. And so in one of the more poignant moments I've seen in sports recently, both Bryson and Rahm paid their respect after seeing Anthony Kim just behind him in third place heading into Sunday.
What an incredible story, first off. Going from the lowest of lows, almost moving away from this earth and then coming back and really taking accountability and raising his little girl and being a family man and being 1% better every day. I mean, it's an inspiring story that I think honestly should have a lot more media attention than it does. It deserves that, and it shows some of the opportunities that LIV Golf can provide and give hope to people. It's another opportunity to play, and I think that's what's so brilliant about it is you got a guy like that struggled pretty much his entire career, and this is really when he has become more of himself than any other time. More of a family man, a father, a great person that cares deeply about playing good golf now. And that's all he cares about, and he loves it. And I think that's really inspiring for anybody, at any age, that you can pick it up and be a better person. So my hat's off to him for doing everything he's done, working as hard as he has to get back. I mean, he's an incredible talent, obviously. We know that. And he's starting to show it, and for him to be in the final group will be fun. And I actually haven't played with him yet, so it'll be fun to see how he golfs his ball.
I was able to enjoy a car ride back to the hotel from the golf course in Riyadh, which, somehow there's traffic at midnight there, so it was quite a bit over an hour. And he shared quite a bit of his story with me, and what he's doing is nothing short of remarkable. I really hope he can find the right person to tell his story, however form, movie, documentary, series, book, whatever it is. Because what he's doing is so impressive. Where he was at in life to where he's at now. I've been able to play with him. I played in Singapore in his first season with him early on. Both of us played with him here last year in the first round. And I played with him yesterday, and the progression, the jump from those 2 times to yesterday, it's impressive. The round he played yesterday, and not the easiest golf course, was incredible. Didn't really miss a shot 5 under, and should have been lower because he didn't make many putts. I mean, it was a flawless round of golf. It's impressive. It's impressive, and to see him now being part of a team after earning his spot back in the league, making a 15-footer on the second day to get into the final qualifying day. He's been proving it. And, after everything he's gone through, if there's somebody that's not going to be scared to be out here and have to make the putts, to somebody like him. So I wouldn't be surprised if at this point this season he's somebody who's hosting the trophy at the end of the week.
I was pumped just at the thought of watching Jon Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau final round event. Like, what more could LIV want? You got basically your 2 best players battling it out in their marquee event in front of over 100,000 people. And so that was the whole stage. I mean, even Rahm and DeChambeau were both like, look, no one's going to catch us. It's going to be either one of us is going to win, because the odds both of them would have bad rounds. The odd one of them possibly, but both, it was really slim. But then somewhere on Sunday on the back 9, things started to change. All of a sudden, this became Anthony Kim's tournament. He got the crowd. It was wild to see. So on Saturday, because Australia is basically a day ahead of us, this was on late Saturday night here in Canada, and I took the GO train downtown Toronto with my son, who's home for Family Day weekend, and we had a few drinks. That's where we were taking the train. And on the GO train home, he's got DAZN on his phone, and so he pulled it up. I was watching it on my phone a little bit when we were out, and then on the GO train home, we were sitting there, and the 2 of us were going wild on the GO train, watching Anthony Kim reel in Jon Rahm, and then all of a sudden we look up and it's like, wait, Anthony Kim's got the lead? And it was just so improbable. I couldn't believe it. And you could see the crowd sort of building the momentum and getting behind Kim, and it was wild. It was just, I was speechless. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Then after 16 years since his last professional win, and 12 years away from golf, and being riddled with addiction, and essentially knocking on death's door, Anthony Kim did the impossible. He came from 5 shots back and outdueled 2 of the greatest players in the world of golf and perhaps the history of golf, in Jon Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau, to get his first win on LIV Golf after 16 years of hell.
It's one of the greatest comeback stories in any sport in history. How sweet is that hug from daughter Bella, wife Emily, who have helped AK turn his life around. It's a tale of redemption, sobriety, mental fortitude, and the strength of love and family, and the banishing of demons. Anthony Kim has stunned the golfing world. He's our LIV Golf champion in Adelaide.
And again, this was truly one of the greatest things I've ever seen in the history of sports. And I don't care, it's LIV Golf. No. All that set aside, I mean, if you see the crowds, it was like watching Tiger Woods at the Masters in 2019, or some of the famed British Opens we've seen over the years, where just these massive crowds all following Kim. He had to duck through, security was shielding him. They were all, is surrounding him. It was just mind-blowing to see. And then you could also see he got his swag back. There was some fist pumps after birdie putts on like 15, 16, and the roar of the crowds. It was unbelievable. Again, it was the best thing I've seen in golf since Tiger Woods won the Masters back in 2019. And then after the win, one of the more impressive things that I saw, you want to talk about respect, just about every single player on LIV lined up like little kids waiting for an autograph for their favorite player in a procession, just waiting for their chance to congratulate Kim. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen. And that speaks volumes. When you've got the respect of the other players like that, where they're all lined up just to give you some love. Well, then after winning, our friend of the show, Jerry Foltz, who's one of the commentators on LIV Golf, has been on the show a few times, he was on the 18th green speaking with Anthony Kim.
In the States, lost a lot of sleep tonight. Very few of them, if any, thought this was possible, except for you. How were you able to maintain that belief?
My family. I don't really know what to say right now. It's a bit overwhelming, but I'm never not going to fight for my family. So God gave me a talent. I was able to produce some good golf today, and I knew it was coming. Nobody else has to believe in me but me. And for anybody that's struggling, you can get through anything.
Your primary motivation for this comeback in golf and in life has been your daughter Bella, your wife Emily. You wanted to prove to her that through hard work and belief anything is possible, and now prove to her that her daddy's a winner. What are those emotions like?
I don't really know how to put into words. I knew this was going to happen, but for it to actually happen is pretty insane. And I just want to thank all the people that have supported me, including you, who, when I was not playing well and I was struggling and on the verge of never coming back to LIV, always supported me. So thank you to everyone that's been in my corner. I'm going to keep doing it.
Speaking of support, this crowd adopted you like I've never seen in a professional golf event before. How much did their spirit fuel you on?
I didn't get tired today. I had trouble getting in here with visa issues, but hopefully with the love they've shown, I can get back in here a little easier now.
I mean, just powerful stuff there. You could even hear Jerry fighting back his emotion, never mind Anthony Kim. And for me, this transcends sports. It's motivation for all of us struggling through life right now, myself included. Things are not perfect for me right now. Again, I mentioned the cost of living is driving me down. What's going on in this country politically is breaking my will to see us so divided and unwilling to come back together. But this moment was just a brief sort of escape from all that. And it's just proof that, with some hard work, faith, and a good support system, we can dig out of whatever hole we're in life. This was just one of the more important life lessons I've ever seen. And that's the beauty of sports. It can do that for us. In his post-round media session, Anthony Kim discussed how he was able to get to this point in life.
I'm very overwhelmed with this feeling right now, but my plan is to keep getting better and start winning some more trophies.
You have a sense of just how inspirational your story has become?
Well, I know the mainstream media is not going to pick it up, but for the people that do hear about it, I want to be a good example. I would say that I wasn't the best person, the best partner, the best, whatever you want to call it, the best son I could be when I was younger, but who I am today is a completely different person. With God, my family, my sobriety being the key things to my life, I can go as far as I want.
Now keep in mind, LIV Golf has a team aspect of it, and for the second straight week, the All-Australian Ripper GC, captained by Cameron Smith, won the team competition on LIV. And heading into the week, they were the rock stars. It's their show. And they, when I say rock stars in Australia, these guys, Cam Smith and Mark Leishman and Elvis Smiley, the youngster, and Lucas Herbert, they are rock stars in Australia. But it didn't end up that way because Anthony Kim stole the show. And here's Lucas Herbert and Mark Leishman after Kim's win, giving their thoughts on his improbable win in their home country of Australia.
Just quickly on the AK note, if you all just wouldn't mind sharing what watching that at the end there and his win, what's that like?
I cried. Yeah, I mean, there's not many players on tours around the world where you're trying not to tear up on the last green when they're winning. Being a dad myself and seeing his daughter run out, knowing what him and his wife have been through. Geez, I mean, not too many better stories than that, I don't think.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's unreal. So good. I mean, particularly where he's come from, and even where he come from at the start when he joined LIV to this now is pretty incredible.
So if none of this moved you, you may not have a conscience or soul. And if you're still allowing that, it's LIV Golf, my goodness, you're the last of the fools right now. I mean, this was one of the more special sporting events I've ever seen. The energy, the excitement. If you haven't tracked down highlights, go do it. It's moving, it's emotional, and it was truly one of the greatest sporting events I've ever seen in my life. It was a lot of fun, and also having the chance to share it with my son, sitting there watching with him on, in a pub downtown, and then we actually got to the Elephant Castle on King Street, and they actually had the LIV Golf on Fox because it was on Fox, and we were sitting watching it, and then continued to watch it on the GO train heading out to where I live in the east end of Toronto, and it was really a beautiful moment. We'll stick around for my next segment. We're going to chat more LIV Australia with audio from the likes of Bryson DeChambeau, Sergio Garcia, John Rahm, and the rest of the crew. Don't forget, drop me a follow on X or Twitter at Mr. McKee, and subscribe to This Week in Golf in podcast version on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and plenty more. I'm Chris McKee. You're listening to This Week in Golf on radio all across Canada.